Hello again, John here, and in this part of the video series I'll be going over the partials that make up the page builder partial. Now, I imagine I'm probably going to get this question at some point. Is there a limit to how many partials, like how many levels of nesting of partials, you can have? Like, is there a cutoff point, or can you just put partial inside partial inside partial inside partial up until infinity? Well, there is a limit, but it's purely, it's mostly hardware based. There isn't an actual defined limit inside of the software. Like, there's no number, written somewhere that says, hey, you're allowed only this number of partials. It's purely hardware based in that you can have as many partials nested inside partials as you want. However, it might become a problem. Because after a certain amount of nesting, it might be harder for the server to construct pages with all this nesting going on. It can get pretty confusing. So, quickly answer that question. Now let's get into some of these partials here. I'm going to try and find a simple partial. And in fact, this is a great one, the rich text partial. So you're probably already familiar with the rich text part of the page builder. It basically allows you to plop into a rich text editor that allows you to add headings, lists, paragraphs, etc. Basically it gives you a very free form, or gives you a lot of, it's a very free form way of modifying a page's content. In fact, we might go on a quick detour and take a look at that part of the page builder. But for now, let's look at the partial itself, because it's very simple. So here's the rich text partial, and again, we're just simply, referring to it by using the template language to literally call it by its name. And now, probably wondering, do all the partials have to start with par, ff, and etc.? They don't. They can actually be named whatever you want. However, it's a helpful naming convention to basically have them start with par, and then in this case we have this ff in it because it's used for something called a fluid field, which is topic for another video. But essentially anything with ff in it means fluid field. These are fluid field partials, but that's beside the point. This is the template file for the rich text partial, and as you can see, it's very simple. Has a tiny amount of HTML and a little bit of template language inside of it. So this is actually a really great example to work with to kind of go over a little bit about how the template language works. So stay tuned for that part, which we'll be going over right after this.